Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new podcast here on Arsenal Aura. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great time wherever you are. My name is Michael, and I'm here to talk about Arsenal. So, let's talk about Arsenal, guys. Arsenal went to Nottingham Forest last week and they came back with a 0-0 draw. I think it was a better performance than against West Ham, but the thing that came out as extremely obvious was the lack of any attacking options and the lack of firepower. As I said, the performance was better, but Arteta has such a small squad and such an injury-ravaged squad that it's so difficult to make something with what he has. And I got a little bit of a feeling when I watched the game of the Wenger, like the last period of Wenger's tenure at Arsenal, when he kept playing the same team over and over and over and over again, hoping that something would click, hoping that something would happen, hoping that a spark or anything else. And that's exactly what Arteta said after the game. He said, we missed the spark. We didn't miss a spark. We missed attacking power. We missed attacking players. And to be honest, the players that are in the wide attacking positions or in striker, right? Again, playing Mikel Merino, he's not a striker. He had a good spell against Leicester. He scored great goals, right? But he's a defensive midfielder, and playing him from minute one, it's going to be very difficult. Against West Ham, he didn't have a lot of service, to be completely honest. I think it was a similar situation against Nottingham Forest as well. However, playing Nwaneri, 17-year-old player with tons of potential, and he's an amazing player, but he's 17. And I think we saw very well that his body can take the workload that it's currently on his shoulders, because we don't have anyone else. Obviously, the manager doesn't trust Raheem Sterling, and it's difficult to trust if we can see how low he is on confidence, and the fact that he's unable to do anything. He's just a very unuseful player for Arsenal right now. So playing a 17-year-old, again in the 45 minute, I think he had cramps, or I heard Arteta saying something like that, and it's obvious. I mean, 17-year-old, I don't even think his body is fully developed, everything. It's very challenging. So, remembering how Arteta managed Saliba, right, sending him out on loan and easing him into the team and so on, doing the same with Nwaneri, and I think that was the plan. But given the fact that the injuries have hit Arsenal really, really, really badly this season, has made Arteta change his mind and play a lot more than what he would have wanted to play Nwaneri. And Trossard, since we signed him, he was an amazing impact player. I think one of the best, right? He always offered something when he came out from the bench. Assist, goal. I think he had a really, really productive spell. It's not the case when he starts. I'm not sure why. He didn't have a bad game, but he's not the same player as when he comes on as a substitute, and that's just my That's just my opinion. So going back to the reference with Wenger kept trying the same team, the same squad. I think Arteta is doing the same now, and I think it's definitely not working. Looking at the bench, looking at the options that Arteta has, there's not much he can do. There's no one he can bring. He can bring on. But we'll get to that. Calafiori played at left back because Lewis Kelly had a red card. Got a red card in a game against West Ham, and I think Calafiori is very suspicious when defending. I think he needs to work on that aspect of his game. He got a yellow card right at the beginning of the game in the second minute. There have been divided opinions that it was too early, or that he should have got at least a warning before that. Not so convinced of that, because it was an obvious pull. I mean, the referee was pretty weird during the game. I don't know exactly. I didn't agree with the way he refereed. Nobody asked my opinion, but there you go. But I think it was 50-50. It was a yellow card in the second minute for Calafiori, and I think Callum Hudson-Odoi had the best of him during the first half. So I think the combinations of the yellow card and the fact that Callum Hudson-Odoi was better than him made Arteta make the substitution in the second half and bring Tierney on. But as suspicious as he is defending Calafiori, he is pretty decent going forward. He's an attacking left back, I think, from what I can see, and he had the biggest chance of the half. Calafiori, he hit the post with his right foot as well. He had a superb turn in the box and a shot with his right foot, and he hit the post. That was the best moment, the best chance that Arsenal had to score. There was another late chance. I don't know if it was late, but it was definitely in the second half. I believe Zinchenko, who came on as a substitute, was offside when Arsenal had a really nice passage of play. But I think the fact that Zinchenko was offside bailed Odegaard out, because he missed with, I think, the goal at his mercy. He basically shot straight at the last defender, and then he had a rebound that again he totally missed. So I think it was better that Zinchenko was offside. If he wasn't, that would have not helped for Odegaard's confidence and for the fans and whoever who, there's a lot of fans going and having something to say against Odegaard, and he obviously set some standards I think last season, and he didn't manage to replicate that form, that level that he showed. But I think he didn't do that because he missed Saka. Also, he had that horrible injury to his ankle, so I think those two things didn't help his form, right? And I do remember that right after he came back after his ankle injury, he had a spell where he created a lot of he made a lot of key passes, and he created a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of misses from Havertz and the rest. So yeah, it doesn't look good for him. So Tierney came back at halftime, and he did fine, but we did lost some of the attacking verve that Maverick Calafiori gave us in the first half. And I think that was that. What do I think about the result? I think it was a good result, given the way Forest played this season. I mean, looking at the table, they're third in the league and on good merit, right? They played really well. But so I don't think we can have complaints. I think a couple of weeks when I looked at the fixtures list and saw the game at Nottingham Forest, I was pretty worried about it. So 0-0 draw, I think it's good. I think what we learned from 80 minutes against Leicester and the games against West Ham and Forest is that we should, or at least I am very worried going into the Champions League clash with PSV. I mean, looking at the last game of PSV in the Champions League, they did beat Juventus 3-1 at home, and Juventus don't have the attacking problems that Arsenal have. What I do hope, and I did mention that in my previous podcast, is that Arsenal would play to their strengths. We do have a really good backline. I don't know if you guys know, there's like you had teams that have an overall from 100 in various football games. So 100 was the best. I think Arsenal's defense is around 86, 88 out of 100. I think Arsenal's midfield is above 80. It might be 82 or something. Arsenal's that currently attack, I don't think it goes above 70 with the players that we currently have. So I do hope, the defense and midfield of Arsenal kind of help the attack in this instance. I do hope we come back with a clean sheet from there. If we can nick a goal, that's perfect. But at this moment in time, I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I hope for a 0-0 draw, but I don't know. And look at the coach Nuno Espirito, right, of Nottingham Forest. He had absolutely no problem in saying exactly how it is. When he was asked after the Arsenal game, he was asked why he didn't play with the back five, and he said, well, Arsenal don't have a striker. So I didn't find it necessary to play 5 at the back. He just played 4 at the back, and he was right, So you can be pretty convinced that PSV will do the same. We'll look at the Arsenal's last games, and coming back to something I said in my previous podcasts, I don't understand why Arteta, who is being touted as being, very good tactical and having a lot of stuff going on, I don't know why he doesn't try a change in formation. He keep trying the same formation, the same players, the same tactics, the same strategies, hoping that something will happen. At least encourage your players to shoot from a distance, right? Not from the middle of the pitch, but encourage Odegaard, Party. He's like, I know he has some shots that like are way out of the area, right? And not all his shots are good, but he's the one who scores like the most shots from outside the box. Rice is a really good free kick taker or corner taker, or so he must be good at shooting as well. Just try to shoot. Odegaard, Partey, Rice, Trossard, Nwaneri. Although with Nwaneri I saw that players kind of try to block that and try to push him out of a danger area, of a danger zone, if you will. But we do have players. Calafiori, he scored 2 really nice goals against for Arsenal this season, right? So you need to try something. If you try to play the same system that you were playing when you had Saka, when you had Martinelli, when you had Havertz, when you have Jesus, when you had all those players available, right, and not injured. But with different players, it's not gonna, it doesn't work. You have to look at it. But unfortunately, I think Arteta is very, very stubborn, as he did with playing Partey at right back when he didn't have other options. So I think he'll go with the same formation. I think he'll go with a 4-3-3 and he'll hope for the best. I can't understand. He can play a 4-5-1. He can bring in Jorginho in the team, who can, he has a lot of experience, Jorginho. Even in the Champions League, he's a Champions League winner, so he has a wide range of passes from the back, from deep, right? Also, remember Jorginho's shot goal against Aston Villa a couple of seasons ago. That really funny goal when he cracked the crossbar and then hit the back of the head of Martinez, and then it was a goal. So amazing. So just do something. Try to play a 4-5-1. Try to play to the strengths as much. I know that the team is really weak, and I know you have a lot of problems in the team with the injuries and now the red card to Lewis Kelly, and your options are extremely limited. But play to your strengths, and the strengths are in the back and in the midfield at this current point in time. And again, just encourage players to shoot. It's so annoying. They're just trying to walk the ball in the net every single time. Just try to take risks from outside the box. Take a shot. Do something. It might happen. You might get, I don't know, a handball. You might get a deviation, right? Hit a player on its way to goal. I don't know. Anything can happen. But yeah, I am worried a little bit. And coming to the Arsenal thin squad, I don't really understand. I mean, I know Arteta sees all the players in training every single day, and he knows them, and he has all these reports and all the GPS trackers and whatever else. I can't understand why Arteta doesn't want to use Butler Oiedejy. I mean, let's be completely honest, guys. He is the only striker that we currently have, right? He played at the academy level in this position for a long time. I bet that he knows this position better than Merino, right? Again, Arteta sees him daily, so he probably knows better why he doesn't use him, but at least give him a chance, give him some minutes. Just, I don't know, can he be worse than Raheem Sterling? I don't think so. I don't know. Just try him. Give him 10 minutes at the end of the game. Give him 15, 20, 30 minutes at the beginning of the game. Try to surprise, the other teams. Maybe he's good. Maybe he scores. Or even on the wing, Sego Jr., right? I remember I saw the news of his loan. He got recalled from his loan, right? From his loan spell. I think it was back in January that I saw that, I don't know, at the beginning or towards the end of January. And I thought to myself, in that moment, when I saw that news, I said, Arsenal won't do any transfer business. And they brought him in, and he'll probably play as a reserve or something like that. Obviously, there are many reasons for which a loan can be terminated, and for which a player can be recalled from a loan. But I was somewhat encouraged by Arsenal's decision. I don't think he was even on the bench for the games against Leicester, against West Ham. I don't remember. I'll have to check that. But why not try again? Doing a comparison. He can be worse than Raheem Sterling, and if he is, you have nothing to lose, right? I mean, of course, yeah. With Raheem Sterling, you can hope he can create something. Given the fact that he has such an experience, and he was one of the best players for a couple of seasons, like, or at least in the top of the best players in the Premier League and for England squad and whatever else. But just give it a shot, try something different, something might work. You might uncover something, something might click. They know their positions, they've played. Sago Jr. has played as a winger, Butler Oiedejy has played as a striker, and he still plays. So just try, put him on, I don't know, play a 4-4-1-1, play Marino and Butler Oiedejy, play Marino as a false nine or as a second striker. I don't know, someone who can link up play, because he's tall and obviously, his strengths are, head game, right? So I don't know. And there's another thing that comes to my mind when I've spoken about all the guys from the academy, and I was thinking, I saw news, or I saw a tweet or something about Mika Biereth. Unfortunately, I wasn't podcasting when we sold Mika, but my opinion back then, when we sold him for a couple of millions, I think, was that we had to keep him and see what he's got. Just keep him for a season at least. Don't just, sell him instantly, just maybe he's doing good. I mean, you had Jesus, had a up and down period where he just came back and he had some setbacks and whatever else, and you only had Havertz. So why not keep Mika, right? Again, in the back, you don't know what happens with the agent. Maybe he wanted more game time to be guaranteed and you couldn't offer that or whatever, but we're not sure. And if that wasn't the case, we should have kept him for at least one season and, show him, try to play him in some games, in some cup games, maybe when, we had that spell last season where we were beating teams 5-6-0, something like that. Maybe if you have games where you're 3-0, 4-0 up or something like that, you can throw him in for 10, 15 minutes. Maybe you can see something, right, in him. Of course, we don't know if he'd be doing the same at Arsenal like he's doing for, in recent times, right? He scores a lot of goals, but again, I think we could have at least gave him another chance. And I bet, he would have been very useful now for Arsenal. Yeah, that's kind of the situation where we are right now. 0-0 draw with Nottingham Forest last week. It's not a bad result given the fact that we have no attacking options. It's not a bad result given the way Nottingham Forest played this season, and the fans and their fans and whatever, they were extremely confident in a win. To be honest, I was looking at the Nottingham Forest win as well, because Arsenal in the game against Leicester and West Ham, they didn't show a lot. So we got a point. I think it's 13 points. Of course, Arsenal have a game in hand, but I think the title's gone. So I think Arsenal should try to look over their shoulders, because there are other teams that are, Manchester City and Chelsea and Aston Villa, of course, Newcastle, that are trying to get into the top four. So we should make sure that we do gather as many points as we can from now until the end of the season. There is no game this weekend because we're out of the FA Cup. So Arsenal will have 1 week, right, from Wednesday. I think Tuesday is the game against PSV in the Champions League. So 1 week rest. Players should be fresh, should be going with the mentality that we should win anything that we can, every game in the Champions League. Of course, I think this is what they have in mind, but I don't think if Arteta doesn't do something different tactically, and he keeps playing the same team, I don't think it will be another. I don't think it will be something different. So yeah, that's where we are. In other news that came out these days, Joshua Kimmich will become a free agent in the summer, and there are rumors that Arsenal are interested. Joshua Kimmich is literally an amazing player with a lot of experience, and he'd be a great addition to the squad, right? I think there were rumors and discussions or something held last summer again about Arsenal. Arsenal were looking at him, but if they couldn't do it last summer, they should do it now. If he's a free agent, they should do everything they can. I think he's on really, really high wages. I think he's above 300,000 per week or something like that. So that might be an issue. He's 30, but that would be a great addition to the squad, especially as we know or have. It's almost confirmed that both Partey and Jorginho will probably leave the club. If you'd ask me, I'd keep Partey for one more season. I think he had a great season, and if you bring in Kimmich, if you bring in Zubimendi, and if you bring in some players, and he won't play every single game, I think he's an excellent midfielder. So, but if Partey and Jorginho will both leave the club, I think both Kimmich and Zubimendi should join Arsenal, or Arsenal, in better words, I think Arsenal should do their best to bring Kimmich and Zubimendi in. There's need for more, but Kimmich at 30 or 31 would be, he'd be a great addition. He won a lot of things. He has a lot of experience, and I think his character as well, I think he would be great. And again, he's a very versatile player. I know he played left back or right back. He played center mid. He played defensive mid. Amazing. And besides Kimmich and Zubimendi, there's the 18-year-old attacking midfielder from Norway, I think Nipan, right? The one that we were really close to sign in January, or at least the rumors were saying that. So, there's a lot of clubs looking. I think he even went to Manchester City and did a tour of their stadium and their facilities and so on. I think if we can get those three guys for the midfield, that would be amazing, and it would, kind of recreate the kind of faith a little bit between the club and the supporters that Arsenal are trying to do something. Not sure, but I mean, I'm thinking from my perspective, right? Bring Kimmich in, Zubimendi and Nipan, right, in the middle, in the midfield of Arsenal next season, and I think I would be happy. Of course, you have to look at winger and striker and backup goalkeeper and whatever else, but this would be an amazing start, right? And I think finally for today, there's the PR of Arsenal saying that there are ongoing talks and recruiting process and whatever else on getting a sporting director in. There were a couple of names rumored. I won't name them here, but there's I don't have a lot of info about those guys, just the clubs that they've been to. What I would say is we absolutely and definitely need someone with great or excellent football experience, right? With good connections, with excellent negotiation skills. We definitely need that. Looking at the way Arsenal sold players or left players, go to the end of their contracts with Arsenal in the past, that's an area that it's very surprising for me that until now this hasn't been addressed. You can't let your players, you buy them, right, and you can't let them go all the way to their contract without getting anything on them. That's very bad business, right? So if Arsenal, are a corporation, and they are, right, you need to bring someone who has excellent negotiation skills, someone who knows football, someone who knows agents and players and coaches and other sporting directors, and that has a proven record of signing amazing players, great players, right, and making good deals, right? That's critical. I think it's been critical for a while now. Whoever that might be, whoever that person might be, we should it's weird because we should do this really fast. Like we should do it. It's urgent to get a sporting director in, right, for the summer, in preparation for the summer. We should do it until I think the end of April at latest, right? At the latest. But in the same time, you don't need to hurry and make the wrong appointment. So it's a hot and cold one. Let's hope and keep our fingers crossed that we bring someone in sooner rather than later. Again, there's no game this weekend. It's the FA Cup, and we're not playing in the FA Cup anymore. I'm looking forward to the PSV game in midweek. I mean, it's Champions League action, it's Arsenal, so come on. We have to try and change something, right? We have to do something. The players need to step up, right? There's been, even in the Nottingham Forest game, there have been some snippets and some clips going around the social media of players kind of going at each other. I think Rice and Gabriel and something like that, and we don't need that. We need harmony if possible, and I understand that it's mentally challenging for the players chasing machinery that was Manchester City for the past 2 seasons and coming so close. I think it's mentally draining. You have to have an excellent mentality, but now it's not the time for arguments and fights between the players and things like that. Now is the time when players need to show character, they need to show personality, they need to show that they're a team of good players, because they are. We have a team that it has good players. I do hope we'll keep them for at least one more season so that we can win something with them, with the likes of Saliba, that he doesn't leave, with the likes of Declan Rice and Odegaard. They deserve something, right? And let's hope that they manage to go over this hurdle. I know that if and it's a big if, we pass or we go past PSV, we're facing one of the Madrid teams, Atletico or Real, but we'll take each game as it comes. So let's first do a good game against PSV. The players should be fresh. They shouldn't fight. They should be up for it, and they need to look at the badge and remember who played for the club, and just go out and play a great game of football. That's it, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in again. I'll come back with another podcast after the PSV game, and I wish you all the best, guys. Stay safe, and peace and love to everybody.